But let's say that you were the handicraft person, and I don't know you, and there is a little tag about you, how you came into this. What is your feelings about this tradition? Why do you do it? Why do you use this? I want to know somebody about the person who made it. So it's not. So then I wanted to know if it were you. If it was you, I want to know something about you and your feelings. I'm more interested about your feelings than how many schools you went to, actually. And I've been working. I realize now I've been working with a designer, Swedish-born designer who is active, a young woman who is active in Berlin. And she's making some quite exclusive collections. And I think she's just in the beginning of her career, but she's successful. And when we are talking about stories about her clothes collections, what I always try because I help her with this, I try to find her feelings that made those collections look as they do. So, for example, when she first came as a young woman to Berlin, and she was used to be able to walk freely in the night through the town, which she has been used from Stockholm, where she was brought up right in the middle of town. She felt safe and street smart in Stockholm, never afraid. When she came to Berlin, she felt sometimes a bit afraid because she didn't even know German from the beginning, which of course she does right now. And she felt sometimes not safe walking through the night. And therefore she wanted to protect herself a little more, so she designed some clothing with little broader hair up and some kind of thing around her head, very beautiful designed. And so inside those clothes she could be like a modern free woman, but outside she was more like urban and street smart and a little more aggressive, which made her feel, and she used those clothes and she felt more safe in the streets of Berlin in the night. That's a story about this collection, why it looks as it does. And to me that's good storytelling, because then now of course I'm not a target group for those clothes, it's for women and so on, but if my daughter bought this and she saw this tag, I think she could be an ambassador. She could say, well, this woman, Mika is her name, Mika came to Berlin in the beginning of the 2000, and she didn't feel safe in the night, and she felt that she had to make a collection who made her more safe in the urban environment. That's why it looks this way. And I also want to feel safe, perhaps, my daughter would say, or something like that. But that's a story why it looks as it does. That's a kind of storytelling connected to a clothes collection. And I have another story about, I don't know what it's called in English, those, if I say wild pig, you mean the pigs that are out?
Yes.
I don't know what it's called in English, because it has some strange name that I never got into my head. Well, if I say wild pigs, and there were a mother and her daughter. The daughter is perhaps 25 and the mother is perhaps 45, 50 years old. They have a farm up in North Sweden with wild pigs, which they have behind fences. And they have a farm, so they had their own very human, so to say, slaughter place, no stress and so on. And they tried to do this very, very local and in an as ethic it can be, to have animals and kill them and make meat of them. But that's most of the people up in Europe, we eat meat. So their business idea was to sell local produced, if I may say so, wild pig meat. And then there was an interview on the radio, and the journalist talked to the mother and said, so you have this local produced wild pig meat? Yes, the woman said, the mother, in this small family business, and she was very proud. And we have not been transporting them a long time, they have been living here, and we give them good food, and then we kill them as nicely as we can. And we have customers coming here and they pay 250 crowns a kilo. And then the journalist asked her, "So that's all?" "Yeah, yes," the mother said. But then the daughter couldn't hold her feelings anymore. "But mother," she said, "you must tell them that we smoke this meat before we sell it." "Oh yes," the mother said, "we smoke it, but we take them from cranberries." Cranberries. Cranberries, those bushes, and they grow on the shore of the Baltic Sea, and they screw themselves up to the air, those big old, and we take very, very carefully parts of those, and we make smoke to make this wild pig smoked by cranberries at the Baltic Sea. "Yes," the mother said, "you're right. And you must tell them," the daughter said, "that in the winter the storms comes with this water, which is a mixed water of salt water and sweet water in the Baltic Sea, and the storms throw the water up on the shores, and they put some crystals on all those bushes that we collect for our smoking." Yeah, that's right. Then they could sell the meat after that for 350 crowns a kilo, because the story put an emotional value on top of the real meat. So that's kind of storytelling from a local producing perspective. You shall inform about your meat and all those things, of course, but you can put emotional extras into it. So if you buy an ecological egg, for example, perhaps they have information that it comes from this and this farm. Okay, that's good. And I like to be ecological, therefore I think it's good, better taste, which it perhaps is, or perhaps not, if you have a blind test. But I feel that I can pay 50% or 100% extra because ecological, because I'm a good person who wants this world to have a long life and so on. The story helps me. But if you just say what the farm is called and it's ecological, that's one step. But it's still not, it's still information. Storytelling should take some extra pictures harvested from reality to make me more emotionally and not only intellectually involved in this special farm.